And yes, folks, things are heating up between the UAW and Stellantis. UAW has sent a scathing letter to Stellantis after they sent a scathing letter to them and filed a lawsuit against the UAW. Yes, Carlos Tavares and Stellantis filed a lawsuit against the UAW for their threats to strike. And the response from Shawn Fain is brutal. I'm going to read them both to you right now. I'm going to try to make this video really short just to keep you in the loop on what's taking place, because we are witnessing history right now. I don't know that anything this nasty has happened, at least in my lifetime, at least in my memory. Some of you could comment below and let me know. I mean, maybe it was when the Teamsters striked and stuff like that. I mean, back in the day, but I can't think of any company that has been this disastrous and in such a public fashion to continue down the craziest road and the craziest lies and believing their lies and believing the things they say and justifying their actions based on what they believe. That is almost maniacal when you think about it. And if there was a situation where there was let's say a debate where, you know, Shawn Fain got to sit down with Carlos Tavares and argue it out, I think I would pay whatever ticket price they charged to watch that fight, because there is so much hogwash being thrown around, especially by Stellantis, and I think it's only going to get worse, and we are going to get to witness this entire thing just continue to come apart. Am I happy about it? No. Am I happy that maybe there's a chance that things could right themselves if they get rid of Tavares and get rid of most of the leadership at Stellantis, and maybe even including the board of directors, and start from scratch and pull their heads out of their asses? Yeah, that would make me happy to see that happen. The last thing I want to see is all kinds of people losing their jobs and our beloved CDJR brands get incinerated. But based on what's going on and the insanity right now, I mean, we're going to watch this thing completely just implode right before our eyes, and it's just crazy. So I wanted to share with you 2 emails that were sent from that we got access to. TK shared them with me, and I know Butter's getting tons of information, and folks are reaching out and giving us this stuff, and it's just wild to see behind the curtain, to see behind the scenes how they're handling this with their people. And I want y'all to imagine being one of the employees at Stellantis. You're sitting there in a Dodge assembly line somewhere, and you're watching this insanity with these megalomaniacs, these wealthy giant organizations battling with each other, and it's almost like good versus evil, and we have to wait and see what happens at the end here. So let's go ahead and jump into these emails. I'm just going to read them right here off my phone because I don't have a lot of time. We're going out tonight. So, all right, folks. So this is I'll put this on the screen too. This is the letter from Stellantis. Over the past few weeks, you have read and heard a lot about the allegations the UAW is making regarding our decisions around product allocation and investment timing. I wanted to give this opportunity to give you some facts. As you know, Belvidere has been at the center of the UAW's narrative. To be clear, we stand by our commitment to identify a solution for Belvidere. However, current market conditions indicate that delaying, not canceling our plans would be in the best interests of our employees and the community. We have conveyed this to the UAW and will continue to engage with them in a productive manner on this issue. The facts are indisputable. The transition to electrification is happening at a slower pace than expected. We knew that slowing consumer EV adoption could potentially delay our product launches and investment decisions. In fact, many of our competitors know this too, and also have announced investment and product delays, as well as outright product cancellations. Now, I want to interrupt this and just say, how could you be complaining about EV adoption when you have yet to have launched a single EV? They have not gotten a single EV to market to even experience EV adoption issues. The gas car that they sent us was the Dodge Hornet, and that thing's not selling. Everything is not selling because it's overpriced like you would not believe, and the quality's frankly deteriorated, and people aren't buying them. but he's blaming it on EV adoption. Yet you have not even launched a single EV. And if your EV is so great, they should just cruise right past that. And by the way, I just got to say, if they think EV adoption's bad now, that people are waking up to this whole farce and realizing that it's a good option for some people, but not a good option for most people, that it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. And depending on what happens with the election, it could even get worse for them. So I digress. This is information that the company has repeatedly shared with UAW and that they have acknowledged. The evidence of a dramatic transformation in the industry and its effects on the market are clear. Because Stellantis and UAW understood this as a potential risk, a clause was included in letter 311, referred to as the investment letter in the 2023 collective bargaining agreement. It recognizes that adjustments to the commitments made in the letter may be required over the life of the agreement because of highly volatile and unpredictable market conditions. Frankly, they created these problems. I wouldn't be blaming the market. Other companies could blame the market, but they're not even experiencing as bad of issues in their companies anywhere close to this. So it's ridiculous to blame the market. It's frankly a narcissistic cop-out. The language in the contract, which was negotiated with the UAW and ratified by its members, is as follows. Accordingly, it is understood that the product investment and employment level numbers set forth above are subject to approval by the Stellantis Product Allocation Committee and contingent upon plant performance, changes in market conditions, and consumer demand continuing to generate sustainable and profitable volumes for all of U.S. manufacturing facilities described above. Because the UAW has chosen to disregard this clause, they have left us with no choice but to take necessary steps to protect the company and our employees. Therefore, we have filed a lawsuit against the UAW and a certain UAW local. We're asking the federal court to declare that UAW's actions are illegal and that the union cannot ignore the company approval and business factor contingencies listed in Letter 311 of the CBA, and that a mid-contract strike based on pending grievances violates the CBA. This lawsuit would hold both the international and local union liable for the revenue loss and other damages resulting from lost production due to an unlawful strike. Stellantis and the UAW have a shared goal to make and sell high-quality vehicles. Let us know when that's going to happen, because it hasn't happened yet, that our customers want to buy. It is our hope that we can come together to navigate the ever-changing automobile landscape, which we believe is in everyone's best interests. Tobin Williams, Senior Vice President, North American Human Resources. I wouldn't take that dude's job for any amount of money. So this is what the UAW has sent to its members. Union family, as you are aware, Stellantis management has unleashed an all-out misinformation campaign in an attempt to scare and confuse us about our right to vote to authorize the international call for a strike. For days, they've been spamming our phones with messages, check my last video, about how harmful a strike would be. And yesterday, they filed a lawsuit against our union and against UAW Local 230, the first Stellantis local to vote to authorize a strike. The company also sent letters threatening legal action to all of our locals, adding the insult of calling our grievances a, quote, sham, unquote. Let us be clear. These are desperate actions from a desperate executive, talking about Carlos Tavares, sounds like, who has lost control. The only sham is Stellantis' promises. We won the right to strike over product investments as listed in the 311 letter, which covers Belvedere, the Durango, and $19 billion in other commitments. Our legal team has complete confidence in our right to strike. The company's legal threats are just that. Threats intended to intimidate us so we won't fight back. The company is claiming, quote, market conditions, quote, unquote, means they can walk away from those investments. But Ford and GM are doing just fine. If only one company is falling behind, that's not market conditions. That's mismanagement. We've been saying this all along, folks. And auto workers in the plant, the people who make the product, will not keep paying for the management's failures. Carlos Tavares' plan is to cut his way out of this mess. And if he has to violate our contract to do it, that's what he wants to do. Your job could be next. Unless we stand up to use our power to put a stop to this dead-end strategy. That's why Local 230 members just voted yes to authorize strike at the Los Angeles PDC, and that's why Stellantis members at locals across the country are getting organized to vote yes. UAW locals across the country have filed grievances over our deep, credible concerns over the company's violations of our collective bargaining agreement. Finally, we've heard some people say, quote, a strike is exactly what management wants. If they wanted a strike, they wouldn't be spending time and money on calling every member to scare you out of striking. They wouldn't be hiring corporate lawyers to sue our union. They wouldn't be filing motions in court claiming that a strike will cost them millions in damages. And they wouldn't be talking about Carlos Tavares leaving the company before his contract expires. For 30 years, we've seen this company violate our contracts and pick us off one by one with no action from UAW leadership. We were always told we would live to fight another day. Those days are over. We will not sit back and watch this company violate our agreement and threaten our jobs, our plants, and our communities. We are united and we are defiant. We will do what it takes to enforce our contracts and protect American jobs. In solidarity, Sean Fain, UAW president. So, folks, that's what's going on. It's brutal, it's ugly, and it's going to get uglier. This is Clash of the Titans. This is war between two giant entities, and we're going to sit back and watch this whole thing. And all we hope is that maybe Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram get jettisoned off, back to America, a new CEO, and completely rebuilt in a way that the customers would like to see it and would go back to supporting it. But right now, there's no way. This thing's going to keep suffering, and it's going to be a long, long suffer. So with that, everybody, please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.